Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Apologies that there was a technical faux pas. Streamlabs is a twat hammer. Now,
the clerk took us to his bedroom, and then we faded to black.
pretty much. It basically just interrupted the fact that I was about to say that he has just realised what he's done, which is, hello gentlemen, here is my bedroom, and all of a sudden seems flustered. Miss Goosey, one did not mean to. No. Mercy. This is simply where you would find me if anyone were to need anything.
Right.
I see.
We have but one locale left on the tour. Best to last and all of that. And
Which is sick people?
Yes, the infirmary as we refer to it, but there are 2, 3 guests now. And I see you have flowers from Martina. She's such an angel. Gift.
Yes, she is a very fine lady.
A gift from Shalia, clearly.
Seemed alright for an umgi.
He smiles and pulls an expression of I don't know what to say to you, dwarf. But smile.
Should we be keeping our distance from any of the people who are sick down there?
Oh no, one does not get sick by being in close proximity to the illness. One gets ill through sin, primarily.
Oh, good.
So
All
don't
right, then.
sin, and pray to Shalia for mercy if one does.
So, what exactly is classed as sin?
Oh, well, if there's all sorts. There's giving in to the darker lords, excess and greed, violence, of course. One must not give in to one's baser instincts. Following the ways of Sigmar and such.
Basically, anything that is other than just sitting on a stool and looking outside, according to some...
Yes, fornication to some would be seen to be a necessary sin, at least.
What about stealing?
Yes, most certainly.
Definitely? Oh.
Most certainly. Of course, what one steals is perhaps Renault's business more than Shalia's, but, well...
But surely, I mean, Gaspar has a little smile on his face when he's going to say this, because... but Shalia, the Shalian priests need to do good, right? They need to help the poor and the needy and help to, sustain those that are in need. So if I see somebody that is hungry and on the verge of dying, and I need some food, but I do not have money, it would be all right to maybe just take some food and help the poor little person that is about to die, is it not?
His hand wavers in front of his head for a second, as if sort of trying to catch a fly with an open palm, and grins at you. Yes, mercy above all else is the way to appease Shalia. One, of course, may pick a god of preference, but mercy would be a fine choice.
But stealing is a sin, you just said.
To some, more than others.
You see, Dagmar, how these religious lunatics just turn on a leaf?
Yeah, they got a hierarchy of how they handle this shit, I guess. I don't know.
Nincompoops, if you ask me.
Are you saying it verbally so he can hear you?
No,
Okay.
maybe just...
Hopefully Gaspard hadn't been drinking that much.
No, no.
Okay. Okay. What's D-Tip's expression through that conversation?
Just kind of mostly curious, but with a side eye on the other two, just purely because of the mention of stealing.
Fair. Fair. Right. And finally, you are taken to the beds, and first, somewhat quietly taken past Eliza, who is sleeping and tucked into a bed. Seems to have been changed into some less blood-soaked attire, which is nice to see her in. It seems to be a more dainty frock, white and, well, perhaps a little too decorative, but still, she slumbers, peaceful. Her hair's been brushed, clearly.
Ah, look, mon petit. Look how peaceful she's laying there, Dagmar.
It's a lot better than she looked last night.
These people are taking good care of her.
Thank goodness.
Now, my good man, do you have like a vase?
Yes, plenty.
I'm assuming there's some around.
Yeah, he goes to the shelves and brings you a small vase, sorry.
He breaks some of the flowers, the bundle in half, and puts some in the vase and puts it at her bedside.
Bless you. You truly are one of us.
Julia will look after you, my petit.
She looks peaceful.
Now, the lady Martina, she said there was a... I believe it was she described it as a sort of a little bit of a perverted person.
Yes, a character. He, I believe, I'm still learning Tillian, but some sort of hunter of darkness, I believe, or a witch hunter, but not quite. I'm working on the translation. I believe he could be a devil hunter.
Witch hunter's a damn handsy one? Well, shit.
Really quite the character I believe he's in his...
Well, these flowers are supposed to be for him, so let's...
we must not keep him waiting then. He continues to walk down this long wing, which is probably 20 yards or so, maybe 30. He pauses at one bed. Oh, no. Miss Cusi, one of the guests has gone for a walk, it would seem. There is a messy bed. I'll go and find him. He likes to get up and do his own thing, we assume. You'll find the gentleman in question, the character at the end. The candle is lit.
Merci.
Before you go,
Yes.
what's the lavender for?
The smell primarily, or simply just for comfort. I believe it soothes one's soul.
Right. Okay. And at this point, Dietlev looks at the other two. Didn't you have an inquiry about someone, a woman?
Ah, yeah, Rosa, but she is deceased, is that right?
When you say Rosa, both hands flicker up in the air as if deer in headlights, and both hands shake and quiver for a second or two. No, she's no longer here. It's awful, really. Rather sad, we believe.
Sad?
she disappeared. Not quite. There was a fire. There's more to it. She had been strange as of recent. As approximately a month ago, she was deemed to perhaps be possessed. We weren't sure, but where she was staying in one of the spare rooms of the buildings outside, we felt it best to, with the possibility of the devil, we took the guidance of moving her out, and there was a fire, and we, of course, extinguished the fire as quickly as our hands would be able to, and when we had, she was gone. Nowhere to be seen inside.
What did she do here?
She was an orphan. The child was, I believe, 6 or so.
And this is the child that disappeared?
Indeed, she was left here on the doorstep some years ago, I believe. 5 years ago, she was but an infant with no memory or recollection of her past.
And this was around about the time you saw an uptick in business?
Business had been doing better for some time beforehand. We suspect with Shalia's increased presence that, of course, any evil in the area may be highlighted. We, of course, had put in word for an appropriate treatment, but she disappeared. We had been trying, but things were not right with her.
And, finally, this is around about the same time that the miracle happened where the man walked?
I believe the miracle was similar, yes.
Close to?
Perhaps a week or two.
Before, after?
Oh, that is trying my memory. I believe the miracle may have started after she left.
Right. Okay, well, thank you. It's very informative.
Oh, no problem at all.
You can go now.
Oh, yes. You'll find your Pietro, I think is his name, or Pietro, or something of the sorts, but goodbye. I'll be back. And his hands sort of like wave by his side as he minces out of the room.
I think it is safe to say there is something not right with it, man.
It seems a little cloying.
Reminds me of an Elgie. He's all twitchy, nervous,
Yeah, indeed.
flamboyant.
Yes, that's one way to put it.
And I look to Dietlev and I say, "You sure asked him a lot of questions." I pause and add, "No harm in that, though. Could actually use you last night."
Well, I wasn't here last night.
Well, let's just say we were someplace else, and I wish we'd asked a whole lot more, so good on you for looking into anything out of the ordinary. Ain't no harm in it. It's for the best.
Yeah, I mean, I was sent here to ask questions, so...
If you don't mind my asking, who is it that sent you again?
Oh, it was my master. I mean, maybe you've heard of him, Herbert Sussman?
Do I know that name, GM?
No, you've only just left the carrack.
Who is that?
Oh, he's he's my master. He's a hierophant.
I look at him as though he just said some insane word. Confusion plastered across my face.
Oh, have you ever heard of the Order of Light?
Have I heard of that, GM?
Nope.
Nope, can't say I have.
I would say there are several cautionary words in there, though. For a dwarf. Apologies.
So, we, how to explain it? We deal with, banishing darkness, protection, even healing to a smaller or lesser degree. My master heard of miraculous healings here, and dispatched me to come and see what exactly is going on and how and why.
And when you say banishing darkness and healing, you mean with religious rites or herbs or?
Dagmar, I believe that the Order of Light is one of those mumbo jumbo colleges they have in the Empire. You know.
Well, I wouldn't say exactly that, but it's a college of magic, yes.
Oh hell! I visibly I turn around and just start taking a few steps away from Dietlov. I look out the nearest window and just sigh.
Yeah, forgive the reaction of my fellow here. I mean, we had some bad experiences with magic most recently, and
You just hear me muttering, angry about magic.
I think we had our belly full of it for
Please,
a long time.
Don't be alarmed. I am not sanctioned to perform any magics. I have knowledge of, and my insights. I was sent here to give my insight and to see what I could find out. But you won't be seeing any magic from me.
I turn back around and face him, and I cross my arms and say, "Well, you say so."
I'm just an apprentice, and very early on as it is.
I don't look happy.
Well, just keep your wand in your wherever you keep it.
Don't have a wand.
Good. Don't get one either.
Noted. If I may inquire as to both of you, you say you came here from somewhere else yesterday. And
yes.
Where were you? You said Kislev?
You would not believe it, my friend. We had a most unsettling ordeal.
Right.
You are too now, but when we set on our journeys, we were with three. There was with us a fae and an elf, as you call them. And well, he let us just look at Dagmar. He led us astray in the mountains and in the snow. Now, surely, if I mention snow in the mountains, you will think that is weird because there is no snow here. But believe me, it is true. And we came upon a lodge, thankfully, because it was, well, how you say, the witch's night. And It was a foul-fated evening, and we were glad that we had warm hearth and a roof over our heads. But it turned out that all was not as it seemed in that house. And indeed, a witch had cast her spell upon everyone, including us. And, we just made it out of there barely by the skin of our teeth, so you say. So, just now we found ourselves here, more than days away from Kislev, so...
Oh, weeks more.
Yes, indeed. And so we are indeed a bit discombobulated and wary of the magics, as you understand, probably.
Well, absolutely. How about we go give out this lavender you promised to give out, and then I was wondering. I'm on the lookout for anything bizarre and strange. And not to imply that either of you are bizarre or strange, but maybe we could have a sit down after we've delivered the lavender, and we could discuss. I'm very intrigued as to how you've managed to travel halfway across the world.
Well, so am I. I mean, we entered a coach in the snow, and we got out here. So it beats
Don't
me.
make a lick of sense.
No. But anyway, yeah, sure, we'll do as you say, and maybe we can find something to eat here. And but let's do this business with the flowers first, eh?
Can I ask? Given that you have possibly traveled for weeks without noticing, just making an assumption that perhaps you were in a strange state of fugue, or maybe I'm just some mystical. Are you hungry?
Are we hungry?
Not as much as you feel you should be, and not as unwell as you suspect you might be, given what you had been eating. You actually feel fairly healthy and mildly hungry.
A bit peckish, but not too bad.
Interesting.
Done been worse down the mines.
Well, extrapolating from that assumes that you haven't been traveling for that long. Most likely.
Well, yeah, perhaps, but I don't know. It confuses me a lot.
Right. Sorry to pry so much. It's just very intriguing.
Well, I would say so. I understand, but well,
I was expecting to come and investigate fake miracles, and now we have missing people and fast traveling people.
yeah. And by the way, that missing person we were asked to inquire about her by the very coachman that made us travel so fast.
Really?
Oh, you reckon she might be special then?
I have a bad feeling about this. Do you have any more of that wine?
I would say I probably left the that bottle back in the room that we got it in. Nope. Didn't think. Hey, got what I could. Didn't want us to get thrown out for taking things that don't belong to us.
Okay.
Well, additionally, if you are healed for prayer and good behavior, presumably you'll be stricken down for sin and bad behavior.
Well, there you go, right?
Probably a good thing you didn't bring the wine with you.
Exactly. See, Gaspar, I know what I'm doing. Using my gray cells.
Ah, yes. Well, Is the man over there at the end, I believe. So let's go to him.
Yes, the devil hunter.
Yes.
Now watch yourself around him, apprentice. Them witch hunting types tend to not take too kindly to people of magical persuasion.
Perhaps is he how he say a witch hunter? Yes.
Maybe we just will keep that fact unmentioned while we talk.
You scared we'll bring it up?
No, but there's no reason to irritate someone who's already sick or ill.
Well, rest assured we will not make matters worse. So, go ahead.
Oh, you're the ones with the lavender.
Ah. Very well.
And the promise to deliver it.
I will approach the man at the end of the hallway or infirmary.
Okay.
It's all moving second behind him.
At the end of the infirmary is a lonely desk and chair. There is a parchment and a few scribbles on, and an elderly man in the bed. He is one of the oldest men you have possibly ever seen. An oddity, a rather stubborn-looking oddity, who smiles an incredibly warm grin as you approach. Ciao, ciao, bella, bella.
Have a good day. Bon, how you say?
Buongiorno.
Ah, yes.
Ciao,
Bonjour.
ciao. He kind of like pats the bed excitedly, clearly just happy to see someone.
I look at his grinning face, and then I look to Gaspard, and I say, Gaspard, I think we're at the wrong bed. This can't be him. This ain't no damn witch hunter.
Well, I don't know how long he has been here, but is there anything else I know about this man?
What was that? Is there anything unusual? He's kind of in pajamas, which, or just undergarments, legs under the covers. So, not much else to say other than he's very old, has spectacles, and seems incredibly animated. Mi scusi.
Yes.
Raiclando. Sit.
Merci. Sure, I will sit with you, monsieur. I believe you know Martina?
Martina.
The lady with the flowers?
Martina. Si.
Well, she brought you these flowers for you, so there you go.
He takes them and just like chucks them on the table, not really caring. Sit. Kind of motions all of you, like, please come closer. With his hands, at least.
I'm going to stay at the foot of the bed.
I'll take a step closer.
His posture then stoops a little bit as you come closer. Gentlemen, after you.
Oh, I was just gonna say I'll squint at him and look him in the eye and just say, "You pinch my bottom, you gonna get a fist to the face, boy."
He looks at you completely blank, as if like, see, and motions for you to come closer. Gentlemen,
I'll get closer.
we're engaging in a silly minigame where if you as players, and you can confer with your colleagues, we can't ask the audience because there might be a sneaky Italian in there. If you have a hint as to what he's talking about, I'll give you a bonus for a test to decipher it.
Mm-hmm.
Them's are the rules, so to speak.
Okay.
He puts his finger to his lips for a moment. Sono qui a causa di bambino comparso.
Something about
Bambino.
Yes, a child.
Lowers his hand down to indicate short, and then goes from crossed arms to hands out by the side. This would be a lot easier on camera. Scomparso.
Yeah, the child is missing, but what?
Yes, missing.
Rosa. Rosa's her name.
Sospetto. Un diamone da fuoco.
What? You what?
Say, suspect somebody?
Sospetto. And just puts his hands like 360.
Yeah, oh, she's
Sospetto.
He suspects everybody?
No, he's yeah.
Nuovo. Si, nuovo. Points at you, all three of you. Nuovo.
Yes, we are new. We are arrived here just today.
Si, nuovo. No sospetto. No sospetto.
Oh,
Sospetto. And does again the 360 with his hands. And also, if anyone's Italian in the audience, apologies, but this is what you sound like to us. And I love you. And it's the best accent in the world. Sospetto.
Yes, so what, you want us to look around? I mean...
Si, look. Demone del fuoco.
Focus?
No, the demons and the apparitions and the... How you say, the beast
I will ask for... Let's go with Gaspard for this one. Challenging intuition, please.
Intuition. Challenging. Nope. Well, -2, but...
A fucking demon is perhaps the most probable thing in your mind. Perhaps it's some sort of curse word. Perhaps.
Yes. Yes, a fucking demon.
Demone. He like makes stabbing motions and like me stab. Demone.
Like a forking demon? What?
No. He like reaches down in his bag and pulls out a sword.
I take a step back. Whoa there, partner.
Demone on guardo. And he does like a little shadow fight, having lots of fun with himself, like demone. And then does a bow in front of you.
You have fought the demons?
See a photo. Demone.
You don't know a man named Helman Ditmar, do you?
Helmone.
Hellman Ditmar. And I spell his name out slowly aloud.
He just kind of looks completely blank at you, like...
I just sigh and shake my head. And just
Those
give
were some words.
a shrug at Gaspard. Yeah.
Just FYI, I'm
Yep.
just standing at the foot of the bed and watching
Yeah.
all occur.
You're getting a show.
What was that last thing you said there, Sheepy?
I'm just watching this all occur.
Oh, we're watching it occur. Okay. Le mie gambe. Points at his knees and like pulls off the covers. He's not naked, don't worry.
Your legs, what is with your legs?
Sono paralizzate. And just like
Paralyzed.
whacks his legs a lot. And rotte.
Rotten?
Eh?
Is he saying paralyzed, rotten?
La sacramento and sort of makes a prayer, and he's like, please, please, please.
So you hope the miracle and the
See,
holiness here will make you walk again, huh?
See, a fighter. Fighter.
Yes.
Demon.
You fight the demons and then you walk again. So
See. Puts his finger like toward each of you for those he can reach, like on your chest. Back to his nose. Sospetto. At this point you hear footsteps walking toward. It's the nun, and he hears them too and dives under the covers as if a child that's been caught reading in bed, and starts faking a snore. Sospetto.
yeah.
I turn and look over to the nun, and I look to the other two guys, and I say in a hushed voice toward the nun, quiet, ma'am, this one, he's asleep.
See, sleeping.
We were just bringing him some flowers, and I reckon we'll be on our way unless there's something you need from us.
No. I was looking for the madman with the... We have found him. He's back in bed. You can hear a bit of a kerfuffle the other side of the corridor, down the other end at least.
Madman, you say?
Loco.
How, loco we talking?
Not beyond Shalia, but il est loco.
Does this madman you've been tracking down, does he gesticulate with his hands a lot and give tours of the place?
No, that is the clerk.
Okay, I was just wondering.
He is eccentrico. The clerk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Annoying.
Well, to say the least, yeah.
I'm glad somebody else thinks so.
It just crossed my mind for a moment that he could have been a patient here, and we wouldn't have known.
We were thinking the same damn thing.
We are all patients of Shalia. Some more than others.
Well, that's lovely. Should we go find something to eat now?
Yeah, that sounds like a plan. Yeah. Did they happen to say there was food in our lodgings?
Food will be served in 1 hour.
Well, that sounds excellent. As long as it ain't rotten, it's good by me.
Okay. Where are you planning on strolling?
My plan was to the room, but Gaspard is shifty, so we'll see.
You're in the room. It's one big room. It's one big, long room.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you're sleeping with the guests, not the priests, I'm afraid. Although perhaps an invitation was sent. It's ambiguous right now.
Were there any other buildings on the premises when we arrived?
There were approximately 4 buildings.
And what time is it right now?
It was kind of dusk when you arrived, getting pretty dark, but it's still very warm, and that, let's say, does confuse one's body clock a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's dark, but comfortable.
Dietlef, like, I'm assuming we've essentially walked away from the sick people and crazy old man?
Yes, for reference, the crazy old man is face down with the covers over him. You just see 2 feet poking out. Not the let's call him the witch hunter, but the person they've just caught is now occupying one of the beds and seemingly hiding with their feet sticking out.
And this is where we're lodged as well.
Yes.
Okay. And so that means that there are people around us.
Yes, but it's a very big building, and it's not like you're prisoners.
No, I'm just talking. I'm just thinking for the purposes of people overhearing. Like, if we talk here, we'll probably be
the
overheard.
lady has gone. She waddles off. From one end of the corridor to the other, it would be very challenging to listen. But if you had a keen ear, you might be able to.
But there are people in the beds. Like,
yes.
Asleep or feigning being asleep to stop the nuns from.
Yeah, they're very spread out, so there's kind of like 5 meters between each, but it's still, wherever you are inside, someone could probably hear you.
In that case, I'm going to switch to Bretonnian.
Okay.
And I'm going to specifically look at Gaspard and say, why don't we go outside and go and investigate that building that was burned down? I feel like that may be a way to spend an hour before dinner.
Hang on.
And I'm looking at the two of them, kind of a little bit confused, wondering why they're talking that dirty Bretonnian tongue around me.
Gaspard is unfazed by the sudden sounds of his
Native tongue?
native tongue. Your accent is it's quite good. Where did you learn Bretonnian?
As just in my studies. It is, my accent is not amazing. It is a lot more, toned down, closer to, Ryclan still, but, I get by.
Oh,
Are they still speaking in Bretonnian?
yeah.
Okay. Can't understand what the hell you assholes are talking about.
Quiet that one. But vraiment, monsieur, on y va. Let's go outside. Dagmar, we'll go for a walk outside.
Yes.
Fine, I'm coming. Bunch of sick people in here anyway. Apparently one's crazy down the hall. I say, shooting a dirty look down that direction of wherever the madman is.
It's a shame that the Fae is not with us anymore. He would fit in quite well here.
You ain't wrong. Kind of wonder where he is now. Suppose he's over in Kislev at this point. Lucky bastard.
Perhaps he is.
Well, let's go outside.
One person catches your attention on the way out. That is the male priest.
Scusi, I forgot though. If you are to travel outside, firstly be careful. The grounds will be safe on this evening, but do not tread too far from the temple or the buildings, or they are around us. And please, since the recent occurrences, we do not permit a torcho. You may take out a lantern.
Torture?
No, fire. Fire. No large fire.
What do you mean they are around us?
Who's they?
This Hexensnacht, in your tongue, you are familiar.
What?
See?
You are mistaken, monsieur. That is impossible.
You mean Hexensnacht, and that's last night. So.
Hexensnacht, demon.
No,
That is impossible.
Hexensnacht.
No, Dagmar,
Say it with me.
he's talking about Geheimnisnacht. That is a whole different night. It is the same but different, but it should be like half a year away. I mean, how is that possible?
See,
Crock shit's what it is.
half a year, demon, but the temple is safe. We are The demons do not come close to the temple. They stay in the darkness in the hills, but do not go walking.
Good. We
Oh,
live.
right.
It is just getting weirder and weirder. So apparently, last night it was Hexensnacht, and now it is Geheimnisnacht. How is this possible?
Fine.
Let's we'll don't worry. Sorry, what's your name?
Gaspar, Dagmar, who?
Which
Who are
one?
you talking to? There's 3 people.
Speaking to the priest.
Myself, mi scusi. I need to look at my name tag. My memory is fading.
Hello, my name is Mario.
I don't have to change the token with just a made-up name. Alessandro.
Alessandro.
I was thinking of translating to Alexander, but Alessandro, please. Father Alessandro.
Father Alessandro. We are just going to pop outside for a little bit to stretch our legs, get some fresh air. I believe dinner will be served in an hour or so, so we will indeed be back for that.
See, I will prepare some of beer and the bread and the olives.
Of course.
Yeah.
But thank you for the warning. It is much appreciated.
See, lantern, please. Oil. Non grande flame.
No fire. No. Wait.
Si,
Lantern, yeah.
si.
Pas de
Cautious.
feu.
And you are free to have a little walk, but I think that might be a good time to have a 5-minute breather if you guys are happy
That
to.
sounds good.
Keep everyone fresh, or as the Italians say,
Fresco.
Fresco.
Refresco. We will come back in 5 minutes.
Once
Have
again.
a minute.
no Italians were harmed, just their culture during the making of this show.
5 minuti.
Physically harmed. No physical.
god, this better fucking work with the tokens this time. Scusi, welcome, and it fucked up again. Okay, so we've learned that when we change the scene on Discord, it basically fucks everything up. So now we just have to roleplay for a little bit outside.
I am the pirate now. I am the pirate from long ago.
I'll come to you. Wait your turn. So yeah, basically, you're all in the courtyard.
Yes.
It's a warm, pleasant evening.
We have things to talk about.
Yes.
Yes. I will say the central well seems as good a point as any to hang out.
Okay.
Do we all have lanterns, or are there lanterns distributed outside?
One lantern between you.
Okay. I'll hold the lantern for now.
Okay. So, apologies for my deception. Well, apologies to you, Master Dwarf, for switching to a language you don't understand. I felt it was most likely not dangerous, but probably safe to not talk theories and the deeper details of the strange things that have been happening to you both.
I raise my eyebrows when he says that, and I quickly interject, "Oh, you thinking that that father fella might be in on the suspecto?"
Well, the crazy old man did say he suspected everybody. And there's a possibility that he is indeed a hunter of evil or demons or whatever it was. However, there's also a possibility he's just insane. So, essentially, I wanted to firstly get out here and somewhere where we obviously couldn't be overheard. I know there wasn't many people around, but even the ill people in their beds could just be pretending to be asleep. And he did say he suspected everybody, aside from us, because we've just got here.
Yes, he was very adamant about suspecting everyone.
And I ain't wanting to discount him just yet, but we do need to ask ourselves, do we have any reason to believe him at this point?
Well, logically, it lines up with the other things we've heard since arriving here.
True.
I don't know about the demons and such, but
Yes.
A girl disappearing and suspect everyone, sure. I mean, who knows what have happened?
Yeah, but he may well have heard somebody saying the girl went missing. He may have heard about miracle, man's legs getting healed and standing. He may have heard about demons out in the woods. So all the things that he's telling us are things that we all heard in the same damn room he's sleeping in.
And it is very possible that he thinks, with the rumors and possibilities of demons and possessions and all of that type of thing, that passing himself off as someone who hunts those type of things will give him more prayers or more likelihood of a miracle and healing his legs.
Oh, damn.
The thought to
That's
have.
dark. Damn. That actually makes sense.
Perhaps,
What do you think, Gaspard?
I don't know, but I am suddenly also a bit worried about the petite fille, the little girl. I mean, The witch was after her once before, and maybe she is more susceptible to any evil that is here. And if there are any demons, perhaps how you say, a barrier between their world and the ours is thinner with her.
Just a very quick question. What does Ditlev know about herbalism and flowers?
I imagine during his studies, the rudimentaries will have been covered. So, at least a provisional knowledge. Let's call it a GCSE equivalent.
Okay.
So, it will have come up, but not in immense detail.
In that case, I will say that the thought that Sheepy has is not the thought that Ditlev is having. So I will leave it.
Okay.
My thoughts is that there's no real, even for someone like myself, excuse me for being a little bit arrogant, but even for someone like myself with extensive knowledge and studying, I can't explain why you're here. Maybe weeks or months away from where you started yesterday, and at a different point in time as well. I could take guesses, and they would all be wrong and just serve to confuse the situation even further. I don't know whether either of you have any contextual light to shed on that problem.
No, your guess is as good as mine. I mean, you're definitely not experts on this matter.
I just sat in the cart reading a journal, and he drank like he ain't drank in years.
In that case, I think the first order of business would be to ignore that question for now.
Gladly so.
Fine by me. Less I think about last night and this trip, the better.
Just as a side note, the ignoring would go better with perhaps something to drink, eh?
I'm sure there will be wine with dinner.
Another thimble or two.
Now, going past that, you said that was it the coachman?
Vraiment?
He said he asked you to inquire about a person?
Rosa.
Yes. I believe he said that she was a protege of his daughter or something like that.
I can't recall.
All right. In that case,
Or a sponsor.
let me ask, just to clarify, who is this coachman? Is this someone who you know, or is it just someone?
No, we made our way from the cursed place, and we were lucky enough to
flag down a coach.
Or
Yes.
unlucky enough.
All right, and how did you get to the cursed place?
We just walked.
Got lost.
Okay. Lost. Okay. In that case, it's probably best to look at the current situation as something of a task, right?
Oui, perhaps.
Suppose.
The only explanation I can think of is that something to do with the coach or the coachman or events preceding is why you're here and why you have been moved. Moved? I think moved would be the best way
I'm
to describe it.
forgetting one thing.
Yes.
Dagmar, the fortune teller.
Oh, right. I reach into my bag and I pull out the the fortune teller's journal. That's the one that had the talk about what the stuff that Moor does, correct,
Mhm.
Hydra?
Yeah, the Book of
Yeah,
Moor.
I flip it open to the pages that talked about Moor transporting, using spirits or transporting spirits or something of the sort. And actually, I'll show the our fine mage apprentice the book and say, yeah, look, read this entry right here. It talks about spirits moving about and things. Maybe Coachman's a spirit or something. He seemed tangible to me, but then again, we got tossed around magically over here. Then
Well,
I say, go ahead.
so from what very little I know, I believe spirits are able to do things that others aren't. So it's a possibility, and unless you have the knowledge or the right sight, I think
Yeah.
you wouldn't be able to tell if this was some kind of spirit or anything along those lines. So
I have no experience in such things nor any talents of it, and
yeah.
I think it only the only way we managed to do it is because it was Hexensnacht.
No, wait a minute. Y'all
Right.
tell me that spirits ain't necessarily like ghosts.
No, I'm not very well versed. It's not the area of my college, so I haven't really read up on this type of thing. From what I know, spirits aren't always the ghostly image. That they can just be people who haven't passed on, or they can seem to the average person, no offense, as well, this would include me in this example, as
Right.
solid and regular people sometimes. So it's a possibility that your coachman was some form of spirit or otherworldly.
I think it was some kind of hypnosis again. I mean, that is what the witch did upon us. She cast a hypnosis upon us.
Right.
It made us see things as they were not.
Yeah.
However, regardless of what it might have caused it, I think the mention of someone who has disappeared, possibly possibly died or been possessed, like there's definitely something suspicious at the very least in that.
Suspecto.
And the pure
Yes.
fact that the coachman asked you to inquire about them implies some form of task or lead.
Perhaps. Perhaps. But now that we are here outside, I mean, didn't the man say that they put the girl outside in a different building that burned down?
Yes, this is the other reason I suggested we go outside.
We should have a look for such a building here, yeah? You think?
I think we should be careful, but I think that we should take this time before dinner to get some extra information if we can, so that we can casually ask, and he's mainly looking at Gaspard here. We can casually ask at dinner and maybe extract some more information as to what exactly is going on.
Vraiment, you are right. You are using the little grey cells. Very good.
Well,
Is
it's kind of my job.
is there a burnt down building that we can
There
notice?
is one
or-
building that has a charred outside. Not burned down, it seems structurally in one piece. But the outside, the lower couple of yards are blackened, at least charred. It's a small building, relatively modest and humble, but
It
And
seems to me that over there, that building has some charring to it.
yeah, I was just about to suggest that building. When did he say it burned down?
Oh, I didn't catch that.
Was it? I think it was a month ago, or
Perhaps yes.
around about then. Fascinating. Okay. Should we have a look at it and see if we can see anything?
Well, lead away, but as you noted, be careful.
Yes. My suggestion would be to not split up.
Sensible. You think there's really demons out there?
I think there's always demons out there, isn't there?
Well, if it's Hexensnacht, I mean, there can be anything out here.
But it can't be. It was Hexensnacht.
Is there more sleep in the sky?
yes. Yeah.
Well, Dagmar, do you see that big green thing up there?
I look up at it and I squint and say, "Yep, it's one of them damn things you got in the sky up here."
Yes, it only shows up twice a year. Well, it shows up more than once a year, more than twice a year, but only twice a year they are both full. And one is Hexensnacht and one is Geheimnisnacht, so
And
it must be either one of those then.
I
So,
didn't
oh, go
want
ahead.
to burst your bubble, but it is indeed that today. It was the day before yesterday, and yeah. Sorry.
As you are heading
Whoa.
east to the charred building, there is a gentle, rhythmic tapping noise from behind you across the courtyard. A thud. 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 And I will assume any one of you turn around to see an old, miserable looking hag beating a rug, but looking at you.
It is the old crone again. She makes me uncomfortable.
Just ignore her. We got business to do, don't we?
Yes. How far away is she?
20 yards. She probably can't hear you, but you could hear mumbling, I imagine.
Mm-hmm. And she is in our direction?
She's
in
sort
the
of
direction-
the south-southwest building.
Yeah, okay.
I am going to take a. She's like staring at us while
Yeah.
she's. I'm gonna stare back.
Her stare intensifies.
I just
As
nod
does-
as in good
as does
evening.
Mine.
I'm trying to pretend she didn't exist.
After 10 seconds of uncomfortable eye contact. Make a perception test for me, Mr. Dietrich. Challenging, please.
Challenging.
She's quite far away, but if you just get the faintest hint that her eyes are a peculiar colour.
Okay.
Just something catches you. It's difficult, nay impossible, to tell what colour they are from where you are, but just the way the one of the lanterns in the street reflects off just catches your attention. She turns away, though, to head inside her home.
And I turn away and I assume the other two have started moving off towards the
Yeah.
burn down bit, so I'll go and join them.
The door is open to this building, as you might assume in such a remote location all could be. Door is still intact, still firm, still sturdy, and inside is a solitary room with a small bed, a desk, a few toys, and yes.
Sorry, very quick. Is this viewable from outside?
There is a window as well at the front, so
Just because I would have stopped us before we went in.
very well. This would be observable even just by swinging the door open or peeking in the
Okay.
window.
Okay, cool. So, worth knowing, just as, I guess we haven't really made it official. Well, you know who I am, but, for the foreseeable next night or so while we are here, I propose that we band together as the only trustworthy people in the area. Yes, I am including the old crazy man in the bed. And just look out for each other in terms of strange, suspicious activity that's currently going on.
Very well, it sounds reasonable.
Last night an Elgie, today a mage apprentice. What's next? Fine.
Wizard. Difference.
Wizard. What the hell's the difference?
Mage is much more everyday basic magic. A wizard is much more higher learning.
Exactly, Gaspar.
However, my wonder is how much the both of you have in regards of knowledge of possession and that area of demons and everything.
You see him, kill him.
The only thing I know is the Fae. Yeah,
Right.
perhaps you know how the Fae treat the magic inclined in Bretonia, but
I do.
they snatch the children and the boys do not return.
So, my concern here is that, and can I extrapolate here a little bit that the building doesn't look like it's been investigated? You know, it looks kind of just like it's been left alone.
You would have that vibe that because there is suspicion of something unholy from the others, one's intuition would be, let's say for the layperson, to avoid such a place entirely. And it seems that way.
Yes. My thoughts are that this has been untouched since the incident being burning it. Additionally, and like looking inside, is it charred and burned inside?
Yes, though differently. The walls are charred as well,
Yeah.
but the central stonework, the floors of this building are entirely some sort of stone slate tile. The central four of them are also charred, and as if there were maybe not a source of the fire in the middle, but maybe a separate fire. That much would be obvious without a roll.
Right. So, my concerns about going inside, as much as I would like to gather as much information as possible, is my knowledge is minimal, and I don't know whether remnants remain in case if there was indeed a possession. There may be remnants of said taint.
Well, only one way to find out, I guess.
I don't understand it. Why possess a little girl? It's a demon. Just pick her up and walk off.
Well, I would imagine that it would be safer. People are much less likely to harm a child, for a start.
You'd think.
Also, people tend not to... It depends, I would say, the objective of possession. But children can move around a lot less noticed. People tend to not pay much attention to them.
That is true, yes.
So, for manipulative purposes, it could be very useful. I'm actually going to walk around the front edge of like where we're standing at the front door.
Yep.
I'm gonna walk around like the front edge of this building. There are char marks on the outside, right?
Yes.
Do they appear to have been like was the fire set outside? Can I tell that at all?
You can roll me, I'll say, an average perception as you try and piece together what you can from the way the scoring of the stonework and the building sort of presented to you. A rather unholy number. Rerolls are available and reset each week, but it's not something that you have to.
I'm gonna say yes, just purely for that 88.
Yeah, indeed. It is a rather unholy number. You can right-click it and click reroll with 1 fortune.
Okay.
No, slightly better.
Less unholy.
I just needed to get off that 88, to be honest. I didn't like it.
Indeed. I will say, despite the fact you draw no firm conclusions, at least with the fire's origin, one thing that is unusual is that the ground here is still stone tile. The walls are stone. There are occasional pieces of wood forming a frame for this building, and yet fire seems uniformly it seems not to discriminate between stone and wood.
Yeah.
That much is free given you've looked.
Fascinating.
What's that?
Oh, there is a possibility. It's not really my area of knowledge, but it appears to be that the fire itself had an equal effect, let's say, on all the different types of material this building is made out of.
What you saying? I mean, the fire said it was the stones were on fire.
Bah, stone don't burn like that. Madawi, we know. We use stone because it don't burn. It's good shit.
Not normally. I believe there are some types of fire that burn everything.
Mon Dieu.
Don't talk bad about stone.
Maybe
I'm not talking bad about stone. I'm talking bad about fire.
maybe they were right. There are demons.
It lends credence to the possibility. I was working off a theory that the people here, in a religious terror, set fire to the building with the girl inside because of their fear, but I don't know.
Maybe they thought she was a witch.
Perhaps, yes.
I wouldn't say suspicion of a young child being a witch is necessarily a good reason to set them on fire.
I ain't saying it's the right choice, just making proposals.
Personally, I would prefer to have a little bit more solid information before I acted, but that's not always possible. So I guess the question is, do we take this information and head back for now, or do we investigate further?
I would like to take a look inside.
I'd like to look now. If last night was any indicator, things might get heavy fast. If
Yes.
this
I
night's anything like Hexensnacht.
I agree. I mean, you have to act fast. You have to
So,
be prudent and decisive.
so, I will accompany you if you wish to go inside. However, it is worth considering for a moment before acting that entering a possibly tainted house, which has been maybe holding a demon or possessed young girl in it, could trigger anything.
I understand, but I'm pretty sure that we are doomed already. It could not get any worse than that. At least not from a bit of charred wood
There's-
and stone.
Well, us Dowie can, we can handle things a bit better than you and get taps. If you like, I can go in there and take a gander.
I believe we shouldn't split up, and I would like to assist you however I can. I just thought it was worth considering options. We are in no specific rush, as far as I am aware, yet.
Well, it ain't that big. You can see in through the window. I doubt nothing's gonna wallop my ass if I go walking right on in there.
True.
But if it makes you feel any better, well, we will be on our guard, and I will have my blade at the ready.
Well, just to posit a possibility, we could, for example, walk in. The doors and windows could close and cover up with stone. The building could grow legs and run off into the woods.
That
Yes.
is the creepiest thing I've heard in a while, even after last night. Jeez.
I am merely presenting a situation where
Jesus.
entering the.
It's a bit dramatic, sorry.
Oh my god!
As you are, yeah, no. Meanwhile,
the
in an
building
opera
grew
house.
It really did. He's onto something.
We'll delete that one.
I'm merely presenting a scenario of possibility of a worst case scenario, whereby we enter the building and can do nothing to leave said building.
Very well, then.
Let me lead the way. I'm the hardiest one of us. I can handle this shit. And with that, I'm just gonna march my ass right in there. I'm gonna open the door, swing it open,
Okay.
and waltz inside.
I will go after you, and when we are just inside, I will bow over to Dagmar and say, "Look, I know you said to trust each other and such, but he did not arrive with us, and I don't know how he arrived, so maybe be a little bit wary of our magical friend right there. Huh?
Shit,
Now,
it could be like with a witch. Maybe
Yes.
he's been here all along, and the other people here, they don't know that he's been here a while.
yes, but he seems all right for now, so...
I hear you. Here he comes.
And I shall walk into.
Gentlemen?
Do I
Yeah.
have my stuff with me?
Yes. Okay.
Well,
If you
Nothing
like, I will stay at the door and I will make sure it does not magically shut.
do they both have weapons?
I have Gaspard has his rapier out.
Gas-
Would I have my weapon, or would mine be in the...
There has not been a point made, and I will have to say, for reasons only known to the GM, that the majority of equipment would still be in the trunk.
In the trunk, sure.
Okay.
Gaspard,
Makes sense.
you pull your rapier. That's a remarkably comfortable grip.
Do you think you can get through a closed door with that?
Sure. I will work myself up into a frenzy and go through everything you throw in my way.
Including doors.
Yes, but I will stay here at the door and put my foot against it so it won't shut.
Oh, all right. I feel maybe... Well, that's fine. So yes. Let us see what we can see.
One easy perception for you, Dietrich. On average perception for Dagmar.
Okay.
Really hope I don't roll a 99.
You said average
He
for me?
likes his 80s.
Hello, sheet dice, my old friend.
You said
Sheepy
average
dice,
for me, right?
yeah.
Okay.
I've come to roll with you again.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure we're in a burned room.
Yeah. That
I
much
think
is
maybe
true. There's a separate fire in the middle. This much even a fool would notice. There is a moment, Dietliv, of unease with you. Something akin to your hair standing up on end, although you cannot grasp at this particular moment exactly why or what stimulated this physiological reaction. Something, briefly, you thought was afoot. Or at least that's what your body told you. Dagmar looks like a lot of other Ungi constructed buildings. Lots of stones, poorly done.
Ungak.
I'll
No
say
wonder
it's
this place caught fire.
difficult to get past the poor construction and actually focus on what's inside. Obviously there is a bed, there is a desk. There's not a lot on the desk bar, a few toys. It's a child's desk in height at least. And a couple of blankets.
If I didn't have my damn contract fulfilled, I'd want to rebuild this place myself. Ugh, disgusting. Craftsmanship. Y'all see this place? I say, waving my hand at it.
One thing unmissable, tucked away in the corner of the desk. Even with failed rolls, you can't miss a book on a desk. So, while you may have a sense that there's something you're missing, there is a prayer book to Shalia.
And is it charred on charred?
It is uncharred.
And the desk?
Slightly charred.
Okay.
I'd say
Gaspard?
Deatlove would see it first.
Yeah. Gaspard, is the door still behaving itself?
Well, everything is fine.
Okay.
Dong.
I confess to not really liking this room.
And a good excuse, there is a ringing of a bell. Coming from
And
the courtyard.
And I believe dinner is served. So,
Oh, thank goodness. Oh, that might mean we're under attack or some bullshit.
I hope not. And I look at the book for a second in a type of no, and then I start walking towards the door.
I look at the book and I remember last night, and I walk over and I take the book. and then I'll
Okay.
provided the place doesn't grow legs and lock up and run off, I will exit the building with them.
No legs yet.
The secret black powder barrel triggers and explodes.
Yes.
No traps.
Yeah.
The book doesn't rattle as you pick it up. There's no bookmark in the book. Just a book.
So I
Did you,
pulled it
however,
out.
see a floating fiery eye that says, "I see"?
You are called back, and there is the clerk standing there with a bell. Apologies, I couldn't find you. Thought the bell would be. Well, it does tend to make one hungry. Please, we have fresh bread.
Oh.
Yep, we're just taking looks, making sure that little girl weren't hiding under the bed or nothing. You know how it is.
Oh, of course, one. Well, I would say brave of you to enter such a... Oh, still, I trust all is well with yourselves. You are not feeling cursed in any manner.
We are fine. Nothing the matter.
Oh,
Nope, not
wonderful.
more cursed than yesterday.
He welcomes you back into the door where the priest, Alessandro, is holding onto a tray with bread, olives, and small little European bottles of beer.
When we enter,
Yep.
I would try to hold back the other two for a second.
Okay.
Is the clerk with us, or does he go off? Does he kind of stand there waiting for us, or to like?
If you want a word, he'll gladly leave you and sort of say, food's ready when you want it, so to speak.
Okay.
But
Just a thought, considering the evening we've had so far. Consider how hungry you might be, and I just walk in.
Yeah. On that note, does our hunger feel any different than it did before?
very slightly hungrier.
Right. All right.
I don't know what he means, but let's just go eat.
Should we eat the food? What about last night? Remember what we ate?
Ciao. The priest just walks up to you with the tray. Please, we have a small offering to Shalia, but it should be enough to sustain your bodies.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you. No, I'll reach out. I'll take literally the smallest item I can find off
It's
the tray.
basically each of you have a bread roll and probably about 4 or 5 olives and a small bottle of beer.
I'll
I'm
take
going
the small one.
I'm going to refuse the food, and I'll say, having spoken to your clerk,
See,
I understand that you're not in the best of positions you might want to be. I don't want to put any extra strain on you. And in fact, if I can, maybe, maybe tomorrow, talk about a modest donation to help you out. I'd
grazie,
be very happy.
grazie. Shalia bless you.
He kisses his fingers, 2 of them, and then sort of goes to just place them on your heart.
We can but hope.
Ah,
Yeah.
it is a kind of you.
Yeah,
Um,
you know what? I'm actually I ate before I came. I say releasing the bread and
Yeah.
pulling my hand back. So I'm in the same boat as old Dietliv there, with the exception I don't know about no donation necessarily. I'm a bit of a tight spot financially, but yeah, I'll leave the food to you. Mhm.
we don't want to add additional strain to this
Grazie.
wonderful establishment that does so much good work for sick people.
I will say a prayer for you, but tomorrow you must, with your kindness, join us for Sacramento. It would be my honor to bless you.
Of course. And we would still very much like to enjoy the company of
Sì, grazie. We will be resting for the evening. Mi scusi.
And he
Of course.
goes off down to his chambers. Gentlemen, I'm going to ask, because it would definitely get him the most, catch his attention. Gaspard, one average perception roll, please, for something that just...
Average. Very good.
Not an 80.
Not an 80.
Take one.
Tap.
Whoa.
Tap.
Do you hear that?
Hear what? Do I hear it?
Once you listen, it's hard to ignore once you've caught it. The rhythmic tapping of a finger against a board, you assume.
Dagmar will have, Gaspar will have taken the beer and that bread, by the way.
Okay.
My eyes slowly widen. My stature kind of visibly sinks a bit. Oh no.
You can hear it
Mine-
too, Deedlev. It just sounds like someone tapping on something.
Yeah.
Where is it coming from? Where is he?
Downstairs.
Where are you?
Downstairs in the beds.
Oh, le petit, le petit. He starts running downstairs.
You run
best
downstairs.
come, Deedle.
To the beds, where your petit fleur is still resting peacefully. The rogue madman of earlier has revealed more than his feet now, and sitting up in bed is a friend, a colleague, a dead man, all in one, tapping a board hung by a piece of string around his neck. He wears tattered clothes and is sat up in the bed looking at you, tapping on a sign that you see for the first time, Deedlev, reading fortunes. 3 pennies.
Now, Deedlev, you came here looking for mysteries and apparitions and perhaps demons. Well, look good, because there is one. That man.
Some sort of ghost or something, or I guess the way you tells it, Deedle, he could be a spirit, I suppose. I guess we should fill him in on this fella, shouldn't we?
You have the book, don't you?
I do. I reach in a bag and I show Deedle the same book that I tried showing him in the little building a moment ago. And if you look at it, Deedle, it is a journal of a priest of Moor who became a fortune teller. And I'll just kind of highlight a few parts of it and point out that he tends to he'll present you cards if you talk to him, tell you to pick one, and whatever card you pick, apparently, the way the saying goes, Moor, the god, has some sort of protection over that person or those persons that's on the card. And anybody who ain't on that card, well, Moor tends to get them a different way, if you get my meaning.
Yes, but sometimes it is the other way around, so it's all fucked up.
I don't even know, but your guess is good as mine. I didn't pick, and well, everybody on the cards that I didn't pick, they're gone now.
Perhaps you should entertain this fortune teller in his him, but
Me? No. Well,
no, I mean Detlef. I have my belly full of this.
Deetler, if you talk to him, be wary of what he says. He may not. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Are neither of you going to?
No, not me.
And last time his sign, get this, his sign was in Kaiserlid, the Dowie tongue, when it was my turn to speak to him. So I can tell you that much: it ain't supposed to be me who talks to him this time. It's you or the Bretonian. Or none of us.
He
None
has
of
a
us will.
hand raised up in the air, the other one. It currently has all 4 fingers and the palm open toward you as he is tapping the sign with his other hand.
Toward anyone in particular?
No,
Just the group.
palm open, but slightly more telling. His thumb then crosses over. One would assume from 5 to 4, perhaps.
Merde. Every
tapping-
time he does something like that, somebody dies.
The tapping
or
intensifies slightly.
2 somebodies last time.
Let's go and talk to him.
All of us?
All of us.
You first.
Okay. And I walk forward.
Well, shit. All right. I'll follow closely behind.
Yeah.
And I sit down. I assume there's a seat.
There's one stall per bed for, let's say, for a guest to tend to them, and let's just say when the nuns, or the nun, attends to folk that you've seen in here, she sort of perches on the bed. It's not a lot of furniture.
Yeah. And I sit down. Okay then.
There is a very slight rock to his body as he taps sort of back and forth. He's tapping specifically the 3 pennies.
Do I have 3 pennies?
Yes, yeah, you have plenty of money.
Yeah, I'll take out 3 pennies and
Oh
hold
God,
them out.
I deleted that track. I didn't delete it from this playlist though, so
He
apologies.
grows legs and runs into the wood.
He jumps up and murders everyone. Ha ha! You will never catch me now. To the opera.
Crazy board tapping man away.
Okay. Yeah. So you reach for 3 pennies, do you?
Yeah, and I hold them out above his palm.
He smiles and takes them. The tapping ceases, but as he lowers his other hand that was 4, one finger closes to 3, which almost he moves towards your face just to highlight.
Yeah. Yeah.
He pulls his bed sheets and sort of raises them over his head as if to, like, make a little bit of a tent, at least for himself. Still holding with one arm, he then waves his hand between the 3 of you in a fluid manner before making a beckoning motion.
Very well.
Yeah.
If the others lean in, I'll lean in with them.
He smiles a childlike, excitable smile, looking like he could giggle at a moment's notice. As he lowers the cover down over your heads into darkness. You can feel his uncomfortable breath. It smells like cheese. Perhaps some liquor he might have got a hold of on his walk. And there, in between the four of you, all sat on a bed, playing tense, a small flame illuminates. He's holding a candle, a small candle, the size we might see on a cake or something of the sorts, and holds it in his finger. It is black in appearance, and smiles a crooked smile, looking like he's holding back on saying something before finally he speaks.
No god has a realm entire of itself. Each is a piece of the whole, head and contorted by each other. If this temple were to be washed away by the sea, all realms would be altered. As well as if a saint rose, as well as if a saint fell, as well as if thine friends were flayed. But worship may feed some and change others, for they are all involved in the old world. Therefore, I ask not, and you should ask not, for whom the bell tolls, for it tolls for she. Please, pick a card.
Yeah.
He lowers his candle down. No wax drips from it, but there in front of his crossed knees are two cards. A lady holding flowers. Another lady hunched over with a cane.
Would we think that the lady hunched over with a cane, does she resemble the lady that was beating the rug earlier?
Seem likely.
Y'all. We
Can
know
I look-
these two.
Can I look closer at the old lady card without
Mhm.
touching it?
Yep.
Is there anything about the eyes?
Yes. The light reflects off of her eyes, although the cards are not particularly coloured. Still, this candle illuminates the two eyes differently. For a moment, you see one green and one blue. An oddity to most. With your heads suspending this makeshift tent, two fingers.
You pick, Detlef. Use your special skills to choose wisely.
Last time, I'm telling you, the one that we picked was more often than not the one that was safe. The one you don't pick's likely to die. No guarantee either way, though.
And I look at the strange man. And I say, what would it take for you to give me a card?
The card is yours that you choose. You may keep it.
One
Can
finger.
You choose a card.
Shakes his head, almost in a panic.
I don't believe I have the right to choose life or death for others.
Dagmord furrows his brow at this point, thinking back on last night, and with hearing Dietliv delaying and seeing the one finger, I quickly slam my hand down on the card with the girl with the flowers, and I pull it towards myself. I ain't letting it happen again. I ain't letting 2 people die.
Looks you straight in the eye. Dagmord.
I looked into his.
Yes. They are coming.
Who?
Blows the candle out. And you are all covered in sheets. And you hear a scream from the courtyard. A woman's scream.
I'm throwing the covers off of us, jumping up.
You throw the covers away. He's gone.
Yeah.
Nothing there.
Vite, Dagmar! Vite!
Oh, shit. And I'm gonna take off. I'm holding the card, of course. I'm gonna take off running toward the courtyard.
If
Followed
one
by Gaspard.
were to be questioning one's sanity right now, you hear another scream just to solidify. One's imagination is not at play here. It's coming from outside.
I'm just gonna go over the area where he was and just investigate it.
Okay. I will say, how long do you wish to take? Or just a quick visual glance, are we talking?
A few minutes.
A few minutes, okay.
Just kind of like feeling the sheets to see if they're warm, to see,
Yeah.
that type of thing.
I will answer your question first. They are warm.
Okay.
I will ask for an average perception, and free things will be free, but this is for details. Not an 80. Congratulations.
Not an 80.
It leaves behind a trace of something familiar, something perhaps reminiscent of your studies, your master, those you've met, an air to them that is similar, at least. The sheets themselves still warm. They smell of presumably the cheese he had been eating. There are crumbs to be found within them. But not much else. Meanwhile, following the screams, we rush, presumably to their source. Hydra tries to remember what he called this map. At the door, one of the male priests joins you.
Are you here, though?
Make way. I'm not
Quickly.
slowing down.
Get out of the way, quickly!
Okay. Gentlemen, one building is on fire. The building not long ago that you had, or one of you had, exchanged glances with a particular hag. There is a faint scream from inside, but the building is surrounded in a circle of fire. The walls, the door. The priest behind you comes with a bucket of water.
From the well, oh, quickly.
Yes!
I'll grab it and I'll throw it at the fire when I get
The
closer.
water is blessed, though it will. We must hurry.
And please tell me what you're going to do, as this man is rushing forward with a bucket to douse the flame and rushing back and fourth.
Can I help get water? Like, is there anything I can use? Like, is there another bucket, or can I use my little hat? I mean, last time I had like some kind of a saucepan thing or something for my hat helmet thing.
I would say there is one bucket, however, as one often forms a chain in such situation. Sorry, there are 2 buckets.
Okay.
So, and the well is fairly full, so you don't have to raise and lower it too much. I will ask you for an average athletics.
Okie doke.
Was there a ring of fire around the building, you said?
It's effectively the walls of the building are all currently burning intensely, somewhat ferociously.
I will re-roll it. There we go.
Okay.
What is the effect that the water has on the flames? Just regular, or?
Does seem to douse it, and it hisses.
Okay. Let's see.
What are you doing?
See how smart or how stupid I am.
Fairly smart.
Gaspard will throw. Dagmar, quickly! Throw a bucket of water over me. Drench me, come on, quickly!
What?
No questions, quickly!
I shrug and I take my most recent bucket that I filled and I dump it on Gaspard. You better hope you know what you're doing, boy.
And he also throws a bucket of water on himself. And he goes towards where the door is. Not rushing in, but carefully.
Okay, you approach to the door. Meanwhile, rushing down hastily is a familiar man, but in different attire now. Deedliv approaches. What will you be doing, Deedliv, as you rush toward this?
I'm gonna stand back, actually.
Okay. That, I think, puts us to you, Gaspard. You approach the door, water in hand. Inside is a faint scream. And not much else afterwards. What are you doing?
I will approach the. I will be drenched in water.
Yeah.
I will carefully stick my hand out. Does it feel like regular fire?
It hurts to touch. A pain unlike burning, though. More of just pain.
I roll my hand back. Is it like damaged?
Red, slightly. It's... Your flesh isn't peeling off, we'll put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
But it clearly is not something that's good for you.
It is of no use. Quickly, come with the water.
Yep, I'm filling up another bucket of water right now, and I'll come running.
Okay. You come running. Bucket of water in hand. It's there at the ready. You guys have been pretty quick thus far. Deetliv, I'll allow you to just interject at any point you wish.
Okay.
And Gaspard, another bucket of water at the ready. What's the plan?
I will throw it in. I will try to make sort of a path toward the door or something like that, if that's at all possible.
Okay.
That's what he's thinking.
Yeah,
I mean,
You throw the bucket onto the door. It wets the door. The fire hisses and retreats back. Curiously, this fire hisses like a serpent or snake. It's a sound not like steam, a sound of something entirely different. It does retreat. I'm not saying this is safe, but it does perhaps provide you with a somewhat dangerous opportunity.
Could I... would I see this?
Yes.
Could I... make any extrapolations as to the nature of the fire from...
From what you can normally see, you would ascertain the way the winds move around this burning entity that this fire is not of an earthly origin.
And it looks like they're trying to have at it?
They're dousing it with water from the well, and it seems to have some effect. It's the fire is, let's say, retreating, but it's going to take a lot of buckets to put this fire out. But meanwhile, there was a scream inside. There has not been for about 5 or 6 seconds.
Gaspard?
quickly!
Be careful. That fire isn't normal fire.
Yeah, that's what I suspect. I mean, it is weird. Quickly, another bucket!
I'm on my way back with the next bucket for him.
The priest, as you were carrying this bucket, has been preparing the last one and moves forward in order to bring it to you, ready to throw. He's also shouting at this point for the clerk and the others to come and join and help. Meanwhile, the lady with flowers is looking on at dread at this.
I'm going to walk over to the lady with flowers.
It's I was talking to her just a moment ago, and I thought I saw something, and I was going to be right, and then.
Are you saying you were both going into that building?
We were in there. We will come back to you in a second, Gaspard, as you do your macho. But for the sake of saving the best till last, we were talking, and I thought I saw I thought I saw her out the window, and I went to go look, and I was looking, and I turned around, and Chalia drops to her knees and begins praying intently.
I turn back to the fire.
Okay. Gaspard.
Mm-hmm.
You have a wet door in front of you that is closed, but for a moment you have an opportunity. What are you going to do? Another bucket has just arrived.
Yeah, I will take the bucket, and I probably will try and kick in the door or crash through the door, and I will have the bucket ready to either throw it on something that's inside, or if there's nothing inside, after a quick glance,
I will say to you first. You give the door a quick nudge with your leg. It's closed. It's going to need a boot, so I'm going to need you to roll me something to firstly try and get in.
I was just stating my
I love it. I love it. I'm into it.
Can I help him?
Okay.
Like a double shorebat.
You see Gaspard kick the door, and instantly your minds at one shoulder to shoulder or boot to boot. Roll whatever you're going to roll. There'll be a total target to reach.
Either strength or, yeah, probably just basic
3 SL in total. Each of you an average test, please.
average.
Okay.
Yes. And you could just crit
Get
it if you're
wrecked, or-
feeling sexy. Right, okay. The door flings open, perhaps even off of its hinges, into the building, giving you an even better opportunity to stand on top of the door and see clearly inside. Gaspard, holding onto the bucket. Inside this room is a fire at the centre. There is no sign of a woman, but something is amiss. Out of that fire, you see what looks to be the very last portion of a snake trailing into it.
Into it.
Into it.
Just additionally,
Detlef?
before they,
Yep.
I'm just gonna, now that they've gone in, I'm gonna walk closer to the building.
Yep.
I would like to inspect the fire without getting too close to it,
Okay.
essentially.
Yeah. I will say for free, we can be certain that this is a magical fire. You've ascertained that. The way the winds shift around it is evident that this fire is of magical creation. But please roll me an average perception as you get close to see what else you can deduce of its magical workings before we come back to what's happening with our sneaky snake. Tough to tell who caused this. A rogue wizard, a demon, a magical mishap. It has happened. It has been observed in the past. If you have a further action, let me know, but meanwhile, the very remnants of a scaled snake heading into this central fire. And from it, Gaspard, you're fairly sure you can hear one faint last scream.
Yeah, I rolled an initiative for myself to see
Okay.
how fast I would be, but I think that upon seeing the thing and the flame, he quickly throws a bucket of water on it.
Yeah.
Just sort of a reflex.
The fire hisses, but there are 2 hisses this time. Not just that of the fire, but another, more loud, from within. But that central fire, though, dissipates, fades. Within the matter of 3 to 4 seconds, this blessed water doing its work. Unusually, there is no smoke in here.
Is it hot in here?
It is uncomfortable and painful to be around, not just hot. It's
Come on, go back. What? We need to see if that woman.
There's nobody here.
I start backing away and say, "Are you sure? We can't leave her."
We can't do anything. It's too hot. Going back.
Fine. I walk out of the, or I quickly run out of the house, but I make sure to kind of wave toward him, make sure he can see in case there's any smoke. Kind of wave at him.
okay. And Detlef?
I've also been. I made my way kind of like towards the door, but keeping a like distance from the fire. I do not trust the fire. Weirdly.
Okay. Okay. Right, fine. I'm just going to send you a message, Detlef.
Ooh.
Just because we never covered that in character creation. I'm not saying it's appropriate to use or not, or that it might get you killed, but
No, it's worth knowing. Yeah.
it's just something we hadn't discussed, so is worth you being aware of. Right, gentlemen, buckets are being carried back and forth. The female nun, as well as Martina, are currently praying intently. the two of them side by side facing this building. Flames are retreating slightly. Generally, not just where the water is being doused.
And I believe, did Dagmar charge out of the house?
Yes, yeah, when Gaspard told him to, he did. He waited at the doorway basically just to make sure that in case it was too smoky that Gaspard could see him, guide him out kind of thing.
Yeah.
So we get trapped in there.
In that case, it's probably worth describing how Deetlev looks now.
Absolutely. You were confronted with a very different Deetlev. Over to you.
He's in these kind of like dark black purple robes with a hood. A few kind of like adornments of like ruined kind of draped cloth, ruined as well. Maybe, yeah, there'd be a couple of skulls on there as well. And holding in his hand, a little bit taller than him, a kind of ornate scythe.
Yeah. Let's see. Where's my thing?
Yeah, I do a bit of a double take looking at him, but I've got bigger fish to fry right now.
Yeah, it would just be it would kind of strike you for a moment, I would say.
Yeah.
As kind of like, whoa, what? Okay.
Yeah, first I'd be like, oh, skulls, but then I remember that everything has skulls on it in Warhammer and just shrug.
Yeah, everything has
Yeah. Yeah, that's very true. Right. A minute passes, and I will be asking what each of you do during that minute.
Just probably sitting on the floor, kneeling, panting from the extreme heat and the exertion.
And
Okay.
I'm just gonna, I'm determined to help them put this fire out because I don't want it to spread anywhere else.
Okay. And Dietrich?
I'll be standing with Gaspard as he's recovering.
Okay.
Death. It is of no use. But you have changed your clothes. Well, whatever. I mean, there was something in there. There was a fire in the center, and something disappeared in it. It was looked like a snake or something. And I think it took whomever was in there.
Or the person turned into the creature and...
Maybe, perhaps. But I heard the scream coming from the fire.
Well,
it was,
there's not much you can do. That fire is magical
yes.
in nature.
The priest at this point, seeing that the fire is naturally receding on the Onan, making a little bit of a guess here, instead of throwing the bucket on, begins to douse his hand with it and throw it onto the fire in a cross pattern, while praying loudly, shouting, screaming at the top of his lungs into this flame, which begins to recede quicker, if anything, than when it had just been merely doused with the water. And it doesn't take long before the fire fades.
Yeah, once the fire fades out, I'm just kind of staying there panting from having basically done laps for the past who knows how many minutes. Hands resting on my knees, hunched over, just exasperated, and looking between the house and Gaspard and Dietlef.
I need to just touch base with you guys, because I know we're running over, but is anyone good for another half an hour, or are we...
I'm good.
Yep.
Are we good? Just because we had a couple delays, so I figure let's give them hell for the first session. Back to
I
you.
actually switched to Bretonian again because I'm with Gaspard,
Okay.
and I say I have actually maybe discerned a couple of things. We can talk about it after, when everyone has left.
Oh, very well. What is it?
It is just maybe some minor insights. I'm not sure. I'll think on it.
After asking whether or not their beloved cook was still inside, upon hearing that no one was there, they make the cross over their heart and, sobbing, most of them, make their way back to the temple. The three of you are alone again.
Well, that was an unfortunate event.
Unfortunate event. You sumbitch. You changed clothes while we had a fire to put out.
I thought that my expertise might have been needed if things turned into a more dangerous situation.
You don't need to wear a pretty dress for that, boy.
I do, in fact.
Really?
Yes. Part of the trappings of being a wizard is to adorn yourself with the proper attire to attune properly.
You believe this shit, Gaspard?
I don't know. I mean, what I know is that this is not, how you say, order of light. But I don't know enough about the magics in the Empire.
Whatever. I look a bit disgusted and just look away from Dietlef.
Well, I may have been a little remiss with my information. But, having said that, I think I have ascertained at least one thing, which I think may make you feel a little better.
Speak it.
Is he gonna bring an old lady back to life?
Is the old lady dead?
Well, there's a fire, and I mean,
I think something grabbed her and dragged her in the, I don't know, some fire, and it disappeared.
We don't really have enough information to say any which way, but what I did find out is that both her and the young lady with the flowers were intending to head into that building together until something distracted the young lady. She paused for a moment and the older woman went in by herself. Now, what that means, with that strange board tapping, let's call them a prophet for now, it means that those two were most likely already destined to die, and it was an intervention to save someone who was already fated to die. Which means you are not picking people to die, you're picking people to be saved and given another chance.
ain't that just a tankard's half full argument?
Perhaps, but without your existence and without your choice, it means that they would both die regardless. You're not choosing people to die or choosing people to... You're not choosing people to die. You're choosing people to be saved. And
You got
one is better than zero.
You nearly chose zero.
The choice before me was possibly a choice of who will die. I don't feel like I have the knowledge or the information needed to make a choice on who deserves to live and who deserves to die.
But by making a choice, you do choose who dies and who lives.
No. You choose who lives, you don't choose who dies.
Yes,
Because
but
both were going to die.
well, you did not choose the other one, so...
I mean, if you pick the young lady, the old lady dies. You pick the old lady, young lady dies. So I mean, it's just the opposite. You save one, but you're letting the other one die.
Yes. You're saving one, but both would die.
It's making my head hurt.
Staggering from behind, as if wounded, a tearful herbalist walks up to you, having gone home. I'm sorry, I wanted to just come here and pray for her.
We don't know that she's dead.
Yes, I understand. Wherever she is, I wish to pray for her because you'll think I'm mad, but I saw Rosa. She beckoned me to follow her, and now I'm still here.
You mean tonight you saw Rosa?
Through the window, faintly, but I saw her. She was there, but not there, and maybe it was the mist, but...
And where did you see her?
Outside the window. Not
Which
but
window?
5 yards.
The house that is on fire?
Yes, yes. We were inside, talking. This was her house, our beloved cook Isabella. And she was telling me what she wanted to put in her tomorrow's bread, and wanted some rosemary. So and then I saw Rosa right there, and points to the left side of the building, just on the bank. It's grass and rock, at least.
Is this the building that was on fire?
Yes.
Sorry. Is this the one that just got put out?
Yes.
Or the one that was okay.
Yeah. So they were both inside the building that got set on fire, and she left the building moments before it went up in a blaze.
Because she saw Rosa
outside.
Because she saw Rosa outside.
And did she point to the spot where Rosa was?
Yes.
I would like to immediately walk to that point.
Okay.
And just have a little bit of a goo.
Okay. Average perception for me, please. For yourself, for anyone else doing anything, please tell me what you're doing.
I was gonna say I'd like to look to Gaspard and say to him, should we, in a hushed tone, should we say anything to her about what we did in there with the cards? Any of this? Or
He
keep it to ourselves.
puts his finger to his lips and shakes his head.
I nod. I look up at the woman and just say, glad you're all right, ma'am. It's a good coincidence that you just happened to not go in at that time.
Yes, Vashalia. I shall be praying if you wish to join me. And she will just begin praying on her knees, facing the building.
Thank you, ma'am. I'll walk over to where Dietlib is, and I too would like to inspect that area just because she
Sure.
did mention Rosa being
You
there.
can roll me a average perception.
Okay.
You each will.
You do better than me.
Yeah.
Probably not.
So, Dietlib, you're looking in, let's say, multiple planes, multiple angles at the same, and Though you are left with a sensation that there is something here to be seen, there's not something you detect. Just that sensation of something being amiss.
Can I ask?
Yeah, certainly.
Because, like, would I be able to correlate this sensation to the sensation I had when I was in the house, the first burned down house?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It's very hard to put your finger on exactly what, but Dagmord, you investigate the floor thoroughly. Prints, tracks, scrapes, scuffs, nothing, save for a few scarred and charred twigs. There's no sign anyone was here.
Just squatting down, gently trailing my stubby dwarven fingers through the twigs and a little bit of ash, and I shake my head and just say, no sign of her.
Well, that lends credence to the possibility of magic, divine intervention, something along those lines.
Magic.
Which also, I believe would mean that you are most likely, both of you, on some type of holy mission. Maybe.
What now?
Interesting. Do you feel particularly holy?
No,
Can't
not,
say I do.
Not really, no.
Say my prayers to Grungnir a couple times a week, that's about it.
Well, it might be worth playing up that idea. I think it will be received quite warmly by the residents here. A thought.
Perhaps.
Or they burn us all as witches. This fire did start the night we showed, didn't it?
There's already been one, and we weren't here then.
Yeah, they might say we were using it as an excuse.
In fact, the most suspicious person, ignoring for a moment the strange oddity with the cards, would be the young lady over there with the flowers.
Now hold
Sure,
on a
you-
damn minute. She seems like a fine young ungie.
Sure. That does remind me of something. And I get up and walk over to the girl praying.
Yeah, certainly. She pauses as you approach. Hello. Hi.
And I like crouch down with like the scythe kind of, it's still standing straight upright. It's just kind of like leant against my shoulder on the ground. What was your name?
She's looking at the scythe like, Martina.
Martina.
Yes.
So, I'm very sorry about a horrible night for yourself. If I can help at all, please do let me know. However, I have a couple of questions. If you're willing.
If it will help anyone, I will give myself.
I can't promise anything, but it may. Lavender.
Yes.
Why lavender?
I like the smell.
Okay. Do you...
It is a small nicety that I can offer to those resting here, and a pleasant smell is better than nothing at all.
And can I take it that you're not from Tylia?
No. I arrived, I would say 6 months ago.
From...
Reichland.
Hmm.
Altdorf, specifically.
Oh, Waldorf.
I am...
I have some friends in Waldorf.
I don't have friends there anymore.
No?
Quite the quite the opposite.
Enemies?
Yes. Sorts, yes.
So... That's why you came out here? To get away from them? To kind of fleeing them?
Among other things, I am here to repent and...
Atone?
Indeed. And grovel. And looks towards the mural of Shalia.
Well,
Mercy is what I ask, but not what I deserve, but I will wait here until I am something else.
Okay. Is that a common thread through pilgrims here? Mercy,
Mostly.
forgiveness, second chances?
Why you would come to a monastery that is all but forgotten in far up in the mountains. I'm sure once this was a glorious site of many pilgrimage, but there are too many dangers for people to brave those roads now.
Well, the prospect of miraculous healing is sure to appeal to some.
Yes, I've prayed, and perhaps I would not like to assume that I've had any part in conjuring such miracles, but I welcome them. They are truly a blessing, and if it brings this place any peace, then I will pick as much lavender as I can.
Beautiful. What did you do back in Altdorf?
Do you mean
you,
one's occupation, or what did I do?
Were you a herbalist there as well?
I am undone. I am a poor herbalist at best. I pick what smells nice. I am a lady, and I do what ladies do, and have done such for my life. And I did something that a lady must not do. Thus I am.
Oh, well, our secrets are our own. I'm not looking to pry. I'm just
Thank you.
looking to understand a few things. Lavender in Reichland. Isn't that for the dead?
I confess I have little experience with the dead. It's... As I say, I pick what smells nice. I've learned some of the rudimentaries, and... Please don't tell the priest
No,
I'm
no,
unqualified.
I won't.
My resume is somewhat fabricated.
I just found it a curiosity to bring sick people lavender, that's all. The smell is indeed very nice, but it was interesting. And it caused me to raise an eyebrow. Don't worry about it. Your secret and job is safe. I won't mention it to anyone.
She looks somewhat bewildered by your inquiry and your thought process, and sort of clearly has other things on her mind, though, and returns to prayer.
The giant scythe through it.
Yeah, there's that sort of postural unsteadiness about her, or unease of... You kind of look like death, so
Yeah.
that's kind of off-putting. I will say you got side-eye from both priest and priestess as they left as well.
Yeah,
like,
I was expecting that.
Major side-eye. They double-took you and were like, "Oof, prayer symbol, leave."
I kind of I stand up and just walk back to Gaspard and Dagmord.
And as he approaches us, I'm actually sitting on the ground. I'm just kind of looking solemnly down at the card, the flower girl in my hand, the kind of tarot card looking thing. And initially, I've got like a little smile, but then it fades to a frown as I look up to Gaspard. And I say, I could have saved Judith too, Gaspard. All I had to do was pick.
You don't know that, my friend.
Don't we?
Nothing is certain.
And I just remain silent.
If I may,
Hmm?
a choice made without knowledge is a foolish choice.
Well,
At
save
no-
this girl, didn't it?
It did. But at no point did you enact a negative. These people, if they are destined to die, are already at a negative. You merely turn a negative into a positive if you make the choice.
I think I get your meaning, but not picking Judith. She was well, she seemed a fine woman. I didn't pick her card, and she ain't with us now. Neither's her husband.
But remember how that house looked after the spell broke. Perhaps she was, well, she was already dead.
It is something to consider. That
I
when
hope so.
when someone is fated, when it is their time, they go. It is not like you run around the world saving everyone because you can, right?
Sounds like the words of an umge. I doubt
Well-
I take a damn axe to anything gets in our way.
All I am saying is, without knowledge, letting someone die is the same as walking down the street, essentially. People die all the time, when you could have saved them. It is a foolish venture to attempt to save everyone all the time.
Perhaps
It's a-
you're right.
Perspective to take.
I'll think about it, but...
Dagmor, something disrupts your train of thought.
Mm-hmm.
This is Dagmor alone.
Mm-hmm.
Inside the building, faint sound, soft, subtle. Hard to tell what it is exactly, but you hear something.
I slowly look up toward the building and I listen for a second and say, "Did y'all hear something?"
No?
The answer is no. There it
I'm
is again,
going to-
Dagmor. Soft, subtle.
I'm gonna stand up slowly, just kind of groaning from all the running I've just been doing, putting out the fire. I'm gonna put my card away of the flower girl, and I'm going to walk over to the house, and I'll just look over my shoulder and say, "Be back in just a moment. Thought I heard something."
Is it wise to go alone?
It's just a house.
That was recently magically on fire.
Yeah, I'm going in. If you won't come, you can come. Make your own damn mind. And I'm gonna walk into the house.
Gaspard draws his blade and follows.
You focus on it, Dagmor. For a second, you hear sobbing. Sounds like a grown woman sobbing. It's coming from the building, but as you get closer, it gets quieter. To the point you're stood within the doorway and you can just faintly hear where that sound is coming from, which is the centre of the room, and one last incredibly faint, soft whimper before it ceases.
I'll walk inside and I'll approach the center of the room, just see if I hear anything else while I'm there.
Yeah, as you were there, nothing. Complete quiet. Stillness.
Can I inspect the area just to see if there's anything of note?
Yes. Average perception.
Okay.
Deetliff, I'm going to give you a choice to roll something better than an 80. We'll see. One more average perception from you, Deetliff.
Ooh.
There's a thing.
What do my
There's
dwarf
two
eyes
things.
see?
Dagmord, you have your adrenaline coursing through your veins, your eyes focused, your mind sharp. Of course, I'll allow our young Bretonian to make a roll as well, if you wish, or if you're wanting to stand guard, or...
No, he's just looking out for dangers.
Okay.
He's got his rapier pointed at the door, like, make a fucking move, I dare you.
Yeah.
Okay. An intense, objective analysis of your surroundings, Dagmor, yields nothing until you just close your eyes and blink for a moment, and there is that whimper. A soft, cowering, no, 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 no. And it stops again. Again, center of the room. There is a table there, but naught else. And nothing else to see. Deedliv?
I got chill down my spine hearing this.
Around you is a mist. This is what you always see. You see different colours, you see different elements of the world. And in this room, you catch from the corner of your eye that mist being disturbed by something moving through it. Hard to tell what. You cannot infer too much of a shape, but fairly low to the ground, your chest and below, something disturbs and parts that wind for a moment as it moves through this room. And it returns to being still, but unusual, and I would say, for yourself, the first time you will have experienced such a phenomena.
And did the whimpering sound like anyone I've met?
Old, you would assume. Antillian.
Okay.
No one you've met, but someone you've seen.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Did you hear that?
I saw that.
Saw. I heard some whimpers, some muttering.
What are you talking about? I hear nothing.
I'm assuming I didn't hear the whimpering.
No, you have the visual, the auditory, for whatever reason, is in the ears of the dwarf.
Sound like an older woman. Right here at the center of the room.
Can I take a guesstimation as to dual color dyes old lady's height? Essentially around the same height as the thing that was kind of shifting.
Maybe if she stooped or was like crouch walking, perhaps. So shorter than the lady, certainly, but
a possibility, but not
a possible
likely.
posture of hers, depending on factors, let's say.
And to my knowledge, spirits wouldn't tend to be invisible to me like that. In that way.
This is
something new.
Do you have some sort of lore that maybe useful for us to jog. Some information will be free. I'll tell you what you know and what you don't know. But some sort of lore, average, please.
Average.
Yeah, as I say, some information is guaranteed. Others may be unravelled by...
Jesus.
Yeah. I think you've got one to reroll left. Yeah. Okay. So, your first time experiencing such a phenomena. Typically, and it does depend on one's skill, one can observe spirits, though I would emphasize it does depend on one's skill and mastery of their, let's say, gifts. Still, yes, I would say your instinct is that someone more powerful than you, someone that has undergone a full regime of training, may be able to unearth more here and may even see more if their senses are sharpened. However, there is still a sensation with this that something that you would normally get more information from is somehow shielded from you or further away than it would be. Something is still amiss. And meanwhile, Gaspard, in the mist surrounding you, the shadows do twitch and move. There is a scurrying shape from one tree to another.
Good. I suggest we retire for the night.
We should be quick about it. There's things in the mist.
Priest said something about big fires, didn't he? We just had a real big one.
Yes. And it does seem that the temple, at least, is a bit more of a sanctuary. We can discuss thoughts and anything else we need to discuss there.
Quickly then.
Right.
I heft my scythe and walk towards the...
How on earth did you manage to hide that thing from us?
It's folds.
How convenient.
And I just linger for a moment in the doorway of the house, looking to where the whimpering of the woman had come, before I turn around and walk out to follow the others.
As I'm walking, I'm like, it's essentially a staff. I know it has a slightly gaudy look to it, or morbid look to it, maybe.
Morbid indeed, gentlemen, as often we would end on a cliffhanger or crescendo, but tonight we leave on questions and mystery instead. I congratulate the players on playing in the manner they did. I hope it was some intrigue.
Mm-hmm.
As you have a lot of work ahead of you. And the shit has not hit the fan. Gentlemen, I will ask for anyone has closing comments, closing thoughts, musings. I'd like to reserve a minute or two, but we will then retire.
Well, next thing Gaspar is going to do is look in the trunk, because we haven't done that yet. I just remembered.
You've drawn your rapier twice now, Gaspard, and I will say the hilt is that of a chalice, and it has the lady on it, the Bretonnian lady, the one and only Le Fay, delicately crafted on, which likely catches your eye as you walk back. For the others, we will find out. Indeed. Any?
I enjoyed that. That was been a long time since I've played a wizardly type character. It's a lot of fun.
Yes.
This
And
is my jam.
It's so cool to be part of the Light Order.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. The well-known Light Order of Scythes.
Yep.
The scythes, the fairly light, which I guess explains the name. And you roleplayed your light wizard very, very well. So lovely to have you all here. Any dwarven goodbyes, or just?
I had a blast, and I cannot wait until the next one.
Here's my question for you, Mr. Matt. How does Mr. Matt feel about picking a card?
At this point, much better than not picking a card.
Yes.
You just beat me to it. You just beat me to it.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I mean, because last season, or you want to call it chapter, I was like, Dagmor's gonna have that baggage of thinking I just got 2 people killed when I didn't pick that card, and so this time he's like, nope, I'm not letting the clock run out. Taking a card this time. If he ain't gonna do it, I am.
Yeah.
I hope I explained the reasoning.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. I'm playing my character.
I thought that was very eloquently done and very lore accurate as well. Indeed, and a completely in character and yet I would say holistic approach to what effectively happened. Fated is a very good word for it. Any burning questions from you guys? I'm not going to answer any of them, but anything that you're thinking, okay, that's something I want to answer in the next one.
What happened to Rosa?
Yeah, that's a good one. What happened to Rosa?
Is Rosa possessed? Was the lady in the house possessed with the multicolored eyes? Was she some kind of witch or mage or wizard?
Different eye colours. Probably should have been killed at birth. At least in this universe.
Yeah, like what's the coachman's relation to Rosa? Is he related to her?
He did mention that the girl was a patron of his daughter.
Yeah, that's.
But do we believe
or a
that?
sponsor? That's what he's. Yeah, it's what he said, and I'm full of lies.
Yeah.
So
the dude told us he was damn driving us someplace, and apparently we crossed a freaking ocean on horseback. So screw him telling the truth.
There's two bits from me, which is essentially, I hope it was cool that I the thought I was having earlier that I didn't voice was the lavender part, because I'm like, people get laid in lavender, and I was like, it's an interesting thing to explore.
Yeah.
I decided to have a bit of a word with her. Well, D-Lev did.
Nice lady. I mean, you've got to like Eva Green, and if you let Eva Green die, Mr. Matt, I would have fucked you up. That's all I'm saying. I would have fucked you up.
Just additionally, all of the musings and thoughts of Dietlev as regards to both of you is just thoughts and musings. He has no particular this is clearly you are holy warriors of God or anything like that. He's like, oh, maybe, could be.
He's a thinker.
We have one thing left to do. That is a little thing we call corruption, because corruption will not kill you immediately in this, and nor will it mutate you into horrible twisted fish frogs. We run our own corruption system. Now, for a particular gentleman with a particular vision of a particular serpent, I'll ask you to click that, please. Please roll well. And this will actually be endurance. Yes, endurance. Gaspard, this will be endurance.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jesus.
A
That
reroll?
is a 19.
I will
I
allow
think-
rerolls because corruption
think,
will be aplenty.
This is a really bad one, so I think
Yeah,
we'll...
and you'll need to mine. Oh, good lord.
Ooh.
Okay, so I think that's
Let's
just a
roll
straight
worse.
up 3 corruption points.
That stands, yep.
Okay, 3 corruption points stands. You might need to remove 3 because it probably just gave you 6. For Dagmar, who is slightly further back, an endurance roll.
I was on 3, so...
Okay, straight
I'm
up there
sorry.
then. Straight up there. That's good.
Here we go. Said endurance.
If only you were in some sort of place of purity and prayer. Endurance, please. Yes.
Endurance. Okay. Okay.
Okay. And not going into the building, but still poking his little
No,
scythe around and investigating things that are, well, who knows what they are. But please click resist followed by endurance. And get a load of corruption. Another 90. Oh, yeah, not bad, not bad. So I think you gain slightly less, but I might be wrong. I'm just going to say that to make you feel better. I think you might have got the whole thing. Yeah, it adds it to your doodah automatically. Corruption we will not be using to destroy players, and no one will gain things that don't make sense. And all I'll say is do not fear for corruption. It will change your character perhaps, but we will agree on a path that it changes you.
But change is good.
So that it adds to the flavour of your character, like extra horns or a tail. No, I'm joking. It will be as last season. So next week we'll start with our inconsequential minigame of psychological conditions. And our players will continue to hunt down exactly what the fuck.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And in the meantime, ciao ciao, bella bella, lasagna al fondo. Goodbye.
Arrivederci.
Bye.